Hello everyone, I'm Charlotte Jones. Let's continue with the breaking news of the moment, the uprising in Los Angeles. We now go directly to our reporter in the United States, John Robert, who is currently on the ground in Los Angeles.
I'm John Robert, reporting from the heart of the conflict. We'll keep bringing you the truth from the ground. We are in Los Angeles, a city marked by conflict, uncertainty, and fear. In 2024, it was estimated that more than 3.5 million immigrants lived here, making up approximately 34% of the county's total population. Of those, over 800,000 are undocumented. Today, the streets are charged with tension. We've seen protests, immigration raids, violent clashes, and a city that seems on the verge of collapse. Many say that if deportations targeted only dangerous criminals, most people would support them. But the reality is much more complicated. We've documented cases of people deported after decades of living here with no criminal records, with US-born children, steady jobs, and deep roots, people who lost everything overnight. This isn't black and white. American society is deeply divided, and this historic moment is exposing that fracture. Newsom's response and announced lawsuit. Governor Gavin Newsom denounced Trump's actions as illegal, immoral, and unconstitutional, calling them a serious violation of the state's sovereignty.
As the National Guard, first and foremost, did the National Guard need to come into California?
Of course not. He flamed the fires. This is exactly what he wanted. This is what he intended by illegally acting to federalize the National Guard. We're going to be initiating a lawsuit first thing tomorrow morning, and it did exactly what we told his team it would do. It would inflame the anxiety, it would inflame the conditions, and the most important thing he can do if he wants this thing behind us is to rescind his order and to get back into some semblance of orderly life here that he created.
Well, you had mentioned if he wants to reduce tensions that he will rescind this order, but isn't that the issue at hand here, that he doesn't want?
No, he wants, he's literally created these conditions. He wants to exacerbate the problems. He completely colored them in, he overstated everything. He knowingly went in a reckless way, did something that's almost without precedent in our lifetime. Unconstitutional, illegal, immoral, because he knew full well what would persist on the ground. His team knows that as well. And that's exactly what this is all about. This is Trump's mess. He created it. He knew full well what would happen if he did this. He offered no support, no counsel, no advice, no other consideration. He just acted in an immature manner in order to create the kind of problems that people are now witnessing on the streets.
Well, we're going to have troops everywhere. We're not going to let this happen to our country. We're not going to let our country be torn apart like it was under Biden. I mean, if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order.
He announced that California will sue Trump, arguing that federalizing the National Guard without the governor's consent violates the US Constitution and the Posse Comitatus Act. In televised interviews, Newsom accused Trump of pouring gasoline on the fire of the unrest and vowed to take the matter to court to prove the illegality of his actions. Key legal and political implications. Topic details. Federal precedent. This is the first time since the Civil Rights era, 1965, that the National Guard has been used unilaterally without state approval. Legal violations. The lawsuit argues violations of the 10th Amendment and the Posse Comitatus Act. Political tension. The conflict between Trump and California has intensified. Newsom has labeled Trump's actions authoritarian, and some state leaders are even calling for Trump's arrest. These events mark a dramatic escalation between the federal and state governments, all amid the chaos sparked by immigration raids in Los Angeles. I'm John Robert, reporting from the heart of the conflict. We'll keep bringing you the truth from the ground.
Run by the County of Los Angeles here with Governor Gavin Newsom. Governor, thanks for joining us live on MSNBC.
Good to be with you.
So this is, as I said, the Emergency Operations Center. I wonder how you would characterize the events that are unfolding in Los Angeles right now. Is it an emergency? Is it, Fox News is calling it the LA riots? Is it a peaceful protest? What's happening? What are you seeing?
Well, I mean, look, Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions. He's, lit the proverbial match. He's putting fuel on this fire ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard. An illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act, and we're going to test that theory with a lawsuit tomorrow.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Sorry to interrupt you, but Governor, so that's news. If you're going to sue the administration, tell me a little bit about it. Give us a preview of this lawsuit.
Well, under his executive order, it specifically notes, and under what the DOD did, is they had to coordinate with the governor of the state. They never coordinate with the governor of the state. I've worked with the National Guard. We've deployed the National Guard. We did 3,000+ folks have been doing logistics work and fire recovery work, and they're fighting the fires, the rattlesnake teams. We did the same back in George Floyd. We have no problem working collaboratively in a mutual aid system with local law enforcement, but there's a protocol, there's a process. He didn't care about that. And the worst part, he completely lied. He said in a tweet that everything's now safe, everything's fine. Is that the case, Mr. Trump? He said because he deployed the National Guard. The Guard hadn't even been deployed when he said this. It's Orwellian. Simply lying to people. Unconstitutional, illegal act, his mess. We're trying to clean it up.
You're saying that the President of the United States has made the situation on the ground here in Los Angeles less safe. What do you know about immigration enforcement today? Has there been any ICE raids in the city today? Are they coordinating with you on that at all? Are they giving you a heads up?
Of course they're not coordinating. That said, we were told in just a recent briefing just a few minutes ago there was small activity in the county and not in the city proper. But look, you made a point a moment ago. These images are unacceptable. These kids on the car, the folks that are taking advantage of this, these aren't peaceful protesters, a lot of these folks, a lot of great people out there doing the right thing. But you get these insurgent groups coming in, sort of these anarchists that are in there to create real problems. And they're just playing right into Donald Trump's hand. And they need to be called out. They need to be arrested. It is wrong to destroy other people's property, and it is wrong to create the conditions that only exacerbate this. But Donald Trump, at the end of the day, is the sponsor of these conditions.
Let me give you the opportunity. You mentioned that there are people out there causing mischief and mayhem. What's your message to those people who are out there tonight? Not the peaceful protesters that are out there protesting for the rights of immigrants, but for the people that are doing damage to buildings, to law enforcement out there.
Well, they're doing more than damage to buildings and to property. They're potentially damaging the very foundation of our republic. The democracy is in the balance. I mean, you're seeing these authoritarian tendencies now are being acted out by this administration.
He's done a terrible job. Look, I like Gavin Newsom. He's a nice guy, but he's grossly incompetent. Everybody knows. All you have to do is look at the little railroad he's building. It's about 100 times over budget. We're putting a flagpole over there. Under budget. I always do under budget.
What does your intel tell you about these people causing all the problems in LA? Are they people ICE is trying to deport, or are they professional agitators?
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail. Thank you.
Mr. President, will you invoke the Insurrection Act?
Trump's statements on the Los Angeles situation. Trump defended the deployment of 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles, calling it a great decision, and claimed that without this intervention, Los Angeles would have been completely destroyed. He sharply criticized Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass, accusing them of failing to control the unrest. He said, "They should be saying, 'Thank you, President Trump. We would be nothing without you, sir,' instead of downplaying the situation." Trump also called on authorities to arrest masked protesters and even suggested that Newsom himself should be detained for incompetence. I'm John Robert, reporting from the heart of the conflict. We'll keep bringing you the truth from the ground.
Thank you, John Robert, for your professional report. Don't forget to subscribe. Only 4% of those who watch our videos on YouTube are actually subscribed.